So the last thing I'm getting conscious, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Um, I want to talk to you about the clothing line, the
Hmm.
suits, because I love a fine suit. You know, was that a kind of a lifelong goal, or was that something you that came about later?
Yeah. So the clothing line is the community I was talking about earlier with the standard, because what I realize is I'm always looking at what is the best piece of advice for helping guys. And so when I was on tour with Stefan Speaks in 2019, we would have to wear suits for all the events. That was the first time in my life I actually started wearing suits like legitimately on a consistent basis. And I would see how people would treat me differently wearing the suits. And I thought about all the things that men desired in life: respect from men, admiration from women, you know, treating with decency, all the things that guys would call me and complain that they're not having enough of. Whenever I would wear a suit, I would realize, oh, I'm given that in abundance. And so suits kind of became like this, this hack to status, respect, and desire. And then, as well as it, when me and my guys would wear it together, there was a level of community as well as communal success that was given to all of us who were all dressed wearing suits. So it's kind of like this interchanging. It's kind of like this interchanging of status, right? It's like if you walked into a bar with David Beckham,
Yeah,
because you both are together, they're gonna view you as somebody because you're with him. Your status elevates just by being in proximity with this individual. And so I realized that's what suits do when guys wear them together. It elevates the status of each individual simultaneously. So in like essence, it builds men up. It's to me the quickest cheat code to increasing status as a man, wearing
yeah,
suits with your friends. So we would do this for all these years, and then I would say, man, I really want to incorporate all these things into one thing. I want to incorporate the community. I want to incorporate the improvement of status. I also want to incorporate the dressing well. And that's what led me to build the company, The Standard, which is luxury suit line that creates communities of extraordinary men. So to me, it's gotten to a point where, like I tell guys all the time, like the suits are just the front to what's
yeah.
actually being built, and that is how can I get the respect with a suit without a suit? And that's comes from actually building yourself up with a community of like-minded men committed to excellence. Going back to what I said before, the biggest thing that men were dealing with is isolation. And so yeah, so we've been doing that for the past couple of months, and it's been a real exciting process to have undertaken.
I see the suits. I like suits. I like shirts. I especially like shoes, especially if people know how to polish and clean them correctly so they shine.
Mhm. Of
And which is a
course,
tip for lots of young men out there. Make sure you know how to iron a shirt because a crisp shirt looks crisp, and
of
clean your
course.
shoes. It's the first thing people notice. You know,
Mm-hmm.
maintain, look
100%.
after those shoes. Um, One of the things I wanted you, and I'm trying to think how to word this because it's talking to you. I said to you earlier about that awareness you have. So rather than like, what advice would you give young men? What would you ask them to try and be aware of?
Hmm. I would ask young men to be aware of one thing, and that is, do you have anyone in your life who is where you want to be in the future? Meaning, do you know anybody in your life who is who you want to be at 35, 45, 55, 60? Do you have anyone like that that you can actually call on the phone and talk to? Because when you don't have anyone like that, usually you're a guy without any aim or direction. And a lot of guys are not familiar or not aware of how much that lack of that individual hurts them. So I would tell men to be aware of that.
I
Do you
like
have
that.
anybody in your life who is where you want to be in the future?
Okay. Two more questions. Um, if you to, what do you do well? What have you done well?
What have I done well?
Yeah.
I've tried.
Let's see. I like the simplicity of that. I like that.
And it's simple, but it's a real thing because I think a lot of people don't try.
Yeah.
You know, they don't genuinely try to make the world a better place. They don't try to improve themselves. They don't try to overcome their demons. A lot of people give up. And to me, I think trying has been the best thing I've done is I always try. And whether or not the effort is the best effort or the results are the ones I want, I always try.
Uh, Last one, and it's completely random and nothing like we've discussed. If you could be anywhere, anytime, any place and time, what would you be driving and what music would you be listening to?
I'd be today. I'd be living right now. Wouldn't want to go anywhere other time but today. I would be driving a Rolls Royce. Um, I would be driving the. I always get confused. Rolls Royce. Which one does Stefan have? He has. There's a Cullinan. There's a Phantom, and there's the Wraith.
Yep.
Driving the Rolls Royce Wraith. And the music I would be listening to probably would be a worship song by Carrie Joe called Blessings. Um, and it's a song about how God blesses you to be a blessing for your future generations. And to me, I think that song is powerful. The reason I chose today is because I would never want to go back to any time in human history, especially in American history as a Black person, first and foremost. I think this is the best time in human history for those who are ambitious, ambitious, driven, have great community, and desire godliness. I think this is the best time, one of the best times. The reason I picked the Rolls Royce because the Rolls Royce is symbolic too, for me. When you can afford it, it's symbolic. Doing the work I'm doing is different. Doing the work that I'm doing, the Rolls Royce is symbolic to actually servicing humanity and reaping what you sowed. For me personally, not for everybody, but for me, it's symbolic to that. When you can genuinely afford it, that means I help so many men that the men willingly compensate me for my services and the services. So it's kind of like somebody once said, I was reading this book about wealth, and he said, for the righteous man, wealth is his gift from God for a service for humanity. The righteous man.
I
And,
like
and
that.
what that means is that if you are genuinely helping improve the lives of people willingly buy your products
Yeah.
because they're buying it because it's helping their lives. It's giving them more value than they're giving you. They're buying something for $2.99, but it's ending up giving them $3,000 worth of value. And so then obviously your product will be in high demand. You have a high demand for a product. At the end of the day, the individual is going to be wealthy but it's a byproduct of your service to humanity. So to me, the Rolls Royce is a byproduct of the service that's done for humanity. And like I said, the worship song is symbolic too. Blessings, not just for my generation, but for all generations of men to come.
And that's a beautiful place to end. Thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you so much for your excellent questions.
It's cool. And if you've enjoyed this episode of the podcast, as always, please give me a like, give me a subscribe, share the podcast, tell your friends. You'll be amazed what a difference it makes. And honestly, I really do appreciate it when people do that. I can't thank you enough. And also, please check out the Roommates podcast. I will drop the links into the description and check out the work that the guys do. It's incredible work. And as you can tell, Hafiz is incredibly passionate and driven. And again, thank you very much for tuning in and listening. Appreciate it.